Hey, how's it going, guys? Rico here again. In this video, basically what I'm going to be talking about is a little bit divergence. And divergence is, right now I'll explain it, it's when you use an oscillator such as an RSI line. I have my RSI line in this video set to 21. Sometimes I switch it. I'll use Ryan setting 5 or I'll use a 7. On my mobile, I'll use a 7. Right here, okay, so my RSI is set to 21. I'm on the 1 hour chart, okay, so I'm on Australian USD. Basically, what I do, this is like a little, I don't know, it's a little secret. I know people know about this, but let's say if I see a double bottom forming, or a double top, or a triple top, or a triple bottom, like on a major, all I'll do, if I don't see a clean reversal pattern, I'll just switch to a cross. So as you see here, look, I'm on Australian. Like, let me switch back. This is Australian. It made a double bottom. An RSI and in our RSI line, we do get a. It's rising right on the second leg. It's a little bit. Zoom out. Okay, right here. Put a box around what we're gonna be looking at. That's what we're looking at right now, right? It made a low at the end of. Going into New York session, it rose, but it didn't rise just crazy. So we hit Asian session, came back and retested that low. So I'm going to look down to my RSI. We are almost at the oversold, so I would be looking for buys. RSI is slightly rising, and the low gets repeated. So let me draw it. So look, my low got retested. See, this is the low. I'm going to draw it from the wick, right? I drew this horizontal line. I'll look for a retest going into London. Okay, that's how easy it is. Look, you see a low or a high, look for a retest going into London. Like, let's say this is at the end of New York. I'm gonna look for a retest going into London. So after Asian session, if Asian session doesn't rise it like right away, I'm gonna look for a retest. Okay, so that's why you always wait until 10 GMT minimum if you're gonna trade London, right? So look, I noticed when I was trading this, I was on Australian, obviously, right? I was trading Australian. But I noticed, like, even though we do get a reversal pattern right here, the candles were going erratic. Like, they were going up and down like crazy. So all I did was, okay, Australian doesn't look very good. Let me switch to Australian JPY. It has a similar structure, a double bottom. The low did get retested, but it closed a doji above it. So this low is still valid. I'm looking for buys. I'm going to look towards my RSI. It looks like it's making a double bottom. Actually, it looked like it made a double bottom. So it made a W right here. Came back down, retested low, made another W. Rise. A reversal pattern on the retest of the low. This is our support. Came back, retested it. 1 hour chart, get a reversal pattern, rise. So that's why I took that entry, you know. That's why I took that entry. You know, you could have taken 100 something pips from it. I only took like 50 something because this pullback was tripping me out because Australian was pulling back hard. You see that pullback on Australian? That's why I tripped out when I was on AJ. And I took early. I should have waited, but you know, it's just part of the deal, part of the learning experience, right? So let's say you see a low, come, like this is the 800 moving average. Also the 400 is there, so that's why it kind of just bounced off, came back and retested it. It didn't close below the moving average, the 800 or the 400, and it also didn't close below our support, which is this wick right here. That would have been our support, right? So going into London session, I would look for buys, confirm with my RSI. So the next day, what do we see? We go. You can use a 30-minute or the 1 hour chart to be looking for this stuff, the divergence and all that. So I see price made a lower low right here. Oh, my bad, I got the wrong object. Trend line. So as we can see here, price made a lower low, but on the RSI, it's starting to flatten out. Even though the RSI line is slightly dropping, it came right back with that reversal pattern right here. So even though So even though, like, look, I was gonna take Australian like on Friday. Like when I saw this reversal pattern, I was gonna take it, but this thing took off so quick. Like I just went to AJ, and I was more looking at AJ. So when I went, I just keep switching back and forth between Australian, and I saw this reversal pattern. It wasn't as clean as the AJ one. That's why I took the AJ one, because look, AJ made a cleaner reversal pattern, but AJ was real slow to rise because the JPY was dropping. So even though Australian was rising, JPY was dropping, USD JPY, right? It was dropping, and that's why it took forever for AJ to rise. But it looks good. The reversal pattern's good. It looks like we're on first level rise. Um, so we got divergence on AJ right here. What divergence is price makes a lower low, but our RSI is rising on the second leg. So price made a lower low on our RSI line. We're already near the oversold area, because remember 32, 50 is a midline, 68 is the overbought, 32 is the oversold. I'm using TDI. All I did was take off the other indicators attached to it, and I did left the RSI line. You can just use a normal RSI. Mine set to 21, like I said in the beginning of the video. So price made a lower low. Our RSI is rising. So what does that tell us? Well, that the market keeps going down there, but the wicks, since it's throwing wicks, that's why RSI is rising. Because remember, RSI only measures the close of the candles, so that's why we see this divergence. A semi-divergence on Australian. I mean, it made a super lower low. Like it dropped a lot more than this previous low right in Asian session towards the end of London, and the RSI, well, didn't, it should have dropped more, but since the closes were all the way up here, that's why I call it a semi-divergence. It's not really divergence, but it should have been dropped more lower, obviously, right? But since the wicks were so large, that's why it closed like that. That's why I didn't drop that much. So we see a double bottom formation on the RSI. Could have taken a buy right there on that reversal pattern. I did take the buy, but I took it on AJ instead of this, which I should have taken this one, because look at that. But the reversal pattern wasn't as clean to me at that time. You know what I mean? Looking back now at it, I could have just taken half a position here and then half a position on AJ, and that would have been the best bet. But you know, you learn. Live and you learn. So right here, I see more divergence. Right here, price made a higher high. Make sure to match up this trend line. Match it up. See right here, price made a higher high, but as you notice here on the RSI line, it's falling, slightly falling. See it? See that double top formation on the RSI? So that's a clue. Also, this previous high is higher than these two peaks right here. So really, we got a multi-session divergence here. So price is rising slowly, but since the wicks and then they close back below, RSI is showing a fall. That makes sense. So what would that tell us? Well, that would tell us that we're looking for a drop soon, because RSI is falling even though price is making a higher high. And all we would do is wait for the reversal pattern close right there, in between, after Asian session going into London. I will check my timing, make sure it lines up. 10 GMT, 11 GMT, so right there. Also used the Asian high from the start of the week Sunday as a resistance point, and it didn't close above, so I would have taken a sell in there. Would have gone now, probably by Asian session, or probably when it hit the average right here, because it hit 800 moving average and a 400 moving average, so that I know that's going to be a strong support. So it's most likely going to bounce, and it did. So bounce, come back, retest, get our rise. So let's see. I don't see divergence, but I see RSI telling me it might drop from right here. Starting to slope a little bit down. See, I was making a double top formation as well, so boom, drop. consolidate, 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 drop. So, I mean, you do get a reversal pattern right here, but it was mostly consolidation, and you would have thought it was an uptrend, but you would have put your stop loss right below, and you would have gotten taken out. So, and it hit the strong resistance point again, and that's why it dropped. Boom, drop. So, I'm just showing you, like, this works on any pair, guys. Divergence on an RSI line. Combine it with ADX to give you more confirmation, and study Ryan's video. I think he goes over divergence in one of his videos. He's using an RSI 5 though. It's a little bit quicker. It moves a little bit quicker. I like a little bit larger number for the RSI line, the period, because I like looking back at more candles. Because remember, the RSI line, whatever number you put in as a settings, that's how much candles it's looking back. So if you have 21 as a setting, it's looking back 21 candles. If you have 5 as the setting, it's only looking back 5 candles. So if we're on the hour chart, it's only looking back that much candles. If that makes sense. So it's up to you. You can test out both. I have, like, on my real charts, I would have multiple. Like, I would probably have 2 RSI lines, or I'll use one on my mobile, and then I'll have one on my computer, and then I'll just be looking at both and being like, okay, something's forming. Let me wait for the reversal pattern close. Boom, get in. You know what I mean? And you can also count your levels. I'll go more into level counting on another one, but just right here on Australian before it rose, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 levels rise. See that? These bullish candles right here could have been your levels on the hour chart. 1, 2, 3, 4, rise. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so that's it for this video, guys. Just showing you a little bit of RSI, how I use it with my trading, and I always confirm with support and resistance, trend lines, all that good stuff, right? Okay, before I go, I see divergence real quick. Looks like a small divergence. So price made a higher high here. Let me look down at my RSI. RSI is at the overbought, 68. Slowly declining. It's consolidating right there at the overbought, even though price is making a higher high. It's consolidating on the RSI line. Made a small double top right here. Divergence, drop. Even though it spiked up, it only measures the close of the candle. It's still dropping. Boom, drop. I got in right there. I got in right there, and I got 35 pips, and I got out. Could have gotten more, but whatever. It was NFP. Let me scroll back. Remember, NFP candles, they'll probably show you a big wick, and then, like, this is an NFP candle, so at the beginning everyone was buying, and then it just turned inside out, and then boom, drop. So you could have gotten out the average. So you could have gotten 50 pips, 53 pips. If you wrote it all the way to the next average, 82 pips. So, basically this video is just showing divergence and how it lines up with price action. So you would confirm with support and resistance, trend lines, etc. Okay, so that's pretty much it, guys. Confirm with the reversal pattern as well, and that's just giving you more confirmation to get in and not have any fear of the market. All right, guys, so peace out.